Hey, what's going on guys, Gaz here, and this is my Arctic Pines woodcutting guide, and these are arguably the best woodcutting XP on the game. The only two requirements for this are level 54 woodcutting and the Fremnik Isles quest. Now, there's a lot of optional things you can use while cutting Arctic Pines. As you can see here, there's loads of stuff on the screen, and it's just the more of these you have, the better, basically. So the first one is an Inferno Adds. Obviously, if you don't have that, it's not a problem, but that just burns 30% of your logs, which speeds up your XP an hour. The next one is Woodcutting Urns. Now these are a very important one actually. You're going to want to try and get your hands on your best possible woodcutting urn you can use, the best ones being strong ones. But I'll show you the setup later for how many to bring, etc. Now Juju woodcutting potions have quite a high level requirement at 71 Herblore, and they require you to have played a bit of the Herblore Habitat minigame. However, these are very good and they do speed up your XP an hour as well, because you don't have to worry about dropping stuff so much. It makes your XP a lot more relaxed. Beaver gives you a +2 woodcutting bonus, which requires only level 33 summoning as well, which is nice and definitely worth bringing. Again, I'll show you how to put those into your setup in a minute. Now the strong rabbit's foot gives you an increased chance of bird's nests dropping, and this is just basically nice as a little money maker on the side. As sometimes in the nests, obviously the nests themselves being 11k, and you can also get yourself a magic seed or a U seed or a palm seed out of there, so it's definitely worth wearing as it goes around your neck and doesn't interfere with the gear we'll be using anyway. Now if you have the lumberjack clothing, obviously use it, because it does give you that 2.5% woodcutting bonus, and it would just be a bit pointless not to use it if you have it. But as I said in my last video, don't go out of your way to get it, because it takes a long time. And also, if you have the lumberjack Ayora, then use that as well. However, it's totally up to you if you want to buy it or not. It costs 5k loyalty points and gives you the +3% woodcutting bonus. That's the tier 1 one, that is. So yeah, that's the gear you're going to want to be bringing as many of those as possible, and I'm going to show you how this all fits into your setup now. Okay guys, so I'm going to be showing you 3 different methods of cutting the Arctic Pines today. The first one's going to be Mousekey drop in the Arctic Pines. The second one's going to be low Alken in the Arctic Pines, and the third one is going to be slicing them into split logs and throwing them on the pile. Now this is the setup on screen now that you're going to want to be using to use the Mousekey method. As you can see there, I've got 3 Juju woodcutting potions in my inventory, 2 beaver pouches, and leaving 6 inventory spaces for logs, all the rest filled up with woodcutting urns. As you can see, I'm wearing my full lumberjack clothing, my rabbit's foot, my Inferno Adds, and my lumberjack Ayora. Obviously, if you don't have the Inferno Adds, swap that out for a D hatchet. And obviously, you're probably not going to have all of these items. However, just bring as many as you can. So, for example, if you don't have the Juju woodcutting potions, just fill that space up with more woodcutting urns. If you don't have the lumberjack gear, just wear anything you want. Anyone can wear a rabbit's foot. You just need 30, I think it's 24 hunter, something like that. So definitely worth getting that to use that. So yeah, this is the gear you're going to want to be using for the Mousekey setup, and I'm going to show you how that works now. Okay guys, so to get to the Arctic Pines themselves, they're located on the island of Netsnot. So what you need to do is you need to get the boat there, which is located in Relica. So get there any means, by any means of how you know to get the Relica. My favourite way to get there is to teleport to my house, and which is located in Relica. Then I can just go out of my house portal and run to the boat. Now if you guys have done the quest, which is required to cut these, you'll know how to get on this boat anyway, that's why I'm not explaining it, and you'll know where the boat is. So just get to Relica and run north to the boat, which takes you to Netsnot. Another way to get here is to use the Enchanted Lyre. Can't think of any other methods to get here off the top of my head, but you need to travel Netsnot with Maria Gunners. Now she'll take us to Netsnot, and this is where the Arctic Pines we'll be cutting today are located. Come on, come on, come on, pointless cutscene. Right, okay, so here we are now. So now I'm just going to double check that my mouse keys are turned on. Okay, they're turned on. So if you guys don't know how to use mouse keys, I've done a guide on it. Check the description, I'll put a link to the guide in the description, which shows you how to get your mouse keys all set up for doing this method. I just forgot to remind you guys that there's a summoning obelisk here, so you can renew your summoning points there from using these beavers. and also the bank is located just east into the city here. So when you get here, you're going to want to run over this bridge, which I am now. And please bear in mind this is for the Mousekey method. This is no other method yet. I'll show you the Alken and the splitting one later. So the best place to woodcut these is this spot here. As you can see, I've got a tree each side of me which I can cut without moving both ways. So you guys may see that I've also done the resize screen trick again, which, as you can see, if I lower my screen right to the bottom, I can have the top left of my inventory right on the tree here, which allows me to mouse key drop the logs much easier. So I'm not going to explain mouse keys because I will have explained that in my previous video. Now when you guys are here, you're going to want to activate your Aura, summon your beaver, drink your Juju woodcutting potion, and now we can get to work here. So I'm just going to bring up my XP counter here, and this is all there is to it. I am now cutting the Arctic pines. This is what it basically consists of, as you can see there. My adds sending that one into flames. That's what's good about this method here. I've got my Juju woodcutting potion taking logs for me. I've got my adds burning logs for me, and if both of those don't do anything for me and they go in my inventory, I'm just mouse key dropping them. And this is probably my favourite method of cutting the pines, just because it's really easy when you learn mouse keys. Once you get the hang of them, it really is simple, and also you get nice streaks of your Juju woodcutting potion doing the work for you, and your Inferno adds, so you can just sit here and relax. Now, as you can see, the tree respawned extremely quickly there, and that's what's good about these Arctic pines. You won't need to bother moving to one of the surrounding trees if you cut them both down. Just wait a couple of seconds and you will then have a tree to cut. It will respawn in time, as long as you stay on a reasonably busy world, so anyone with about 1k plus players. Now, as I'm doing this, my woodcutting urns are filling up, so don't do what I just did there and instantly go to another one. As you can see, a tree just pops up there for me quickly. That's just habit to click on another one, I suppose, but don't do that. I need to train myself not to do that. So anyway, as I was saying, as I'm cutting these woodcutting urns are filling up slowly, and always try and, well, this is personal preference really, but I like to try and keep the urns, even if they're full, until I get all 10, to keep my inventory a bit neater, because otherwise the logs start going across here where you don't really want them, and it's easier to just drop them there on these rows here. They're the easiest to mouse keys. So even when your urns are full, I suggest keeping them there. Now, while using this method, be sure to keep check on your Juju woodcutting potion down here to check if it's working or not. If it's about to expire or run out, you can just click on game and it will tell you. As you can see, mine's fine at the moment. So that's basically all there is to it, to this method. Now I'm going to go on and show you the low Alken method. So onto that one now. Okay guys, so this is the setup for the low Alken guide, for the low Alken method, sorry, and as you can see it's pretty much the same as the old one. We've just substituted a couple of urns for our Inferno adds / hatchet to go in that space there, and for the nature runes, of course, to carry out the spell itself. And as you can see, we're welding the fire staff instead. Now I've only got 300 natures there, but if you were planning on staying here for a long time, you're going to want to bring more than that, which can make this method quite costly sometimes, but not really. It's only the price of the nature rune. So just bring as many natures as you are planning to cut logs. Bring more than 300. I've just bought them here as an example. So I'm going to show you how to do this method now. Okay guys, so here we are with the low Alken setup. Now this is equally as simple as the Mousekey one, just instead of dropping those logs, we're going to be low Alken them. Now what you need to do here is you need to turn off combat spells, teleport spells and skill spells, so only your miscellaneous spells are open, and that will put our low alchemy up here to the top of our inventory. Now basically how this works is, as you cut the logs, you're going to have your low alch selected, so as soon as you get a log you just low alch it like that, and that won't actually stop you from woodcutting. As you can see there, that keeps me woodcutting. Now you can't alch them too quick or you will stop woodcutting, so what I recommend doing is waiting until the character starts swinging the hatchet again, and then alching the next log. But as you can see here, I'm getting them at a steady pace, so I can alch them as they come in. Now, The reason you don't want to high alk these is because that does stop you from woodcutting. So the low alk just basically is an easier way of dropping. It's basically like dropping it with a single click essentially. So that's all there is to this method. Obviously this one is the more costly method out of the two because it does require you to be using a nature rune every time you get rid of a log. However, if you're okay for money, then this is probably an easier method for you because it requires a lot less effort. So that's the Mousekey, not the Mousekey, that's the low Alken method. So now I'm going to move on to the third and final method, which is the chopping them, splitting them, and throwing them on the pile. So here we go. Okay guys, so the final method is splitting and throwing them on a pile. Now this is the most simple one, and this is definitely for the people who don't like paying much attention when they're training on RS, or don't want to do much clicking. They just want to kind of leave it and let it do its own thing, a bit like you was chopping ivy. Now all you're going to want to use for this is have a beaver following you for that boost, and you're not going to want anything else in your inventory because this mainly consists of the more inventory space, the more XP you're going to get. I don't recommend using the woodcutting potions because you won't be using most of the time out of the dose because you spend a lot of the time chopping, splitting the log, which doesn't even put the Juju woodcutting potion into use. And I don't recommend having urns in your inventory either because they just clog up the space, and that will require you to do more clicking. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to carry this one out best now. Okay guys, so here is the final method in action of chopping them and then splitting and then throwing them on this pile here. Now all this method consists of is getting a full inventory of arctic pines by chopping these two ones here. Obviously you don't have to chop these, you can chop any arctic pine, but these are the two closest to the woodcutting stump which you need to split the pines on. Now basically this one is so AFKable because there's obviously no clicking to do. And when you get, I'm not going to record it all now because it will take me ages, but basically when you get a full inventory of these arctic pines here, you're going to want to come up to this wood cutting stump here and press cut wood, and you're going to want to split them into arctic pine split logs. Now as you can see, that's giving me 43 XP per cut, and also that's very AFK, but if I had a full inventory that would go all the way through and do all of those. And now basically, when you've split all of the logs in your inventory, you just need to click on this deposit logs pile of logs here, and that will just throw every log in your inventory onto the pile. Then you can just go back on here and repeat the process. Now just to let you know, you can't throw the arctic pines directly onto that log pile, it doesn't work, I'll show you now. You don't have any split logs, they have to be the split logs that you throw onto the pile, which are made by the woodcutting stump. So I'll just repeat that one last time. Full inventory of arctic pines, split them into cut split logs on the woodcutting stump, then throw them onto the pile of logs, then repeat the process. Now this is obviously the most AFKable method and requires the least effort. However, you may have guessed it, it's also probably the least XP because that splitting log doesn't give you that much XP. However, it is still woodcutting XP. Anyway, I just got a bird's nest here, so let's see what's in here. Oh, apple tree seed, lovely. Anyway guys, that's pretty much all there is to this guide. In my opinion, the methods go from best to worst in this video, so Mousekey is my favourite, then it would be low Alken, then it would be this method here. Unless I was watching a film or something, then this would probably be the best method, because you don't really have to do much. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. As usual, post me any questions, I'll answer any questions I get. And other than that guys, thanks for watching. Happy woodcutting, see you later.